everyone, welcome back to Short Story Elements Part 3. In Part 1 we learned about plot, in Part 2 we learned about character. Now we're going to learn about conflict. So you might be asking, what is a conflict? Well, conflict is the force that moves the plot along and the struggles in which the characters are involved. The idea is that there are a series of conflicts. First one being character versus character. This is an external struggle. So where basically a person is going to face it against another person, or a person can face it off against another group, or a group can face off another group. So an example here, we have the tortoise and the hare. The next one is a very, very important one, and it happens all the time. Character versus himself, herself. This is an internal struggle. Basically, the character is going against their conscience. We see that a lot in really good stories where it's one thing to have a character face another character, but when the character really contemplates and questions themselves, that's what really gets us interested in a particular story. We have the example here, Rapunzel versus herself and Tangled, whether she should leave the castle or the tower or not. The next one is character versus nature. It's an external struggle. Basically, it's between the character and natural developments. For example, the idea of nature, animals, illness. What's happening when you have all these characters facing off against Mother Nature, right? A hurricane, a natural disaster. What's going to happen, right? Next one, character versus society. Basically, it's between a character versus the societal ideas, laws, and beliefs. Usually, it's when the character stands up against quote unquote man. The idea here is from the Hunger Games, where you have Katniss versus the Capitol. The next one, character versus God/fate. The idea of the character is in conflict with a predetermined destiny. Harry Potter versus the prophecy that he will kill Voldemort. Character versus technology is between, like for example, man versus any type of machine. So you versus your printer, someone versus a robot. The next one, character versus supernatural. The struggle between alien versus man, werewolves versus man, wizards versus man, so forth. So we have here from Stranger Things, Hawkins versus the creature in Stranger Things. The idea is that in this short story elements is not a very long lesson. It's the idea though that you need to learn conflict so that you understand how the story is pushed forward. Being able to identify these different types of elements or different types of conflict really helps you, the student, understand the text at a deeper level. So for practice, you should fill this table out. Basically, give 2 examples for every single conflict. So 2 examples for character versus character, 2 examples for character versus himself, 2 examples for his character versus nature, and so forth. Try that, have fun, take care.